What's up, guys? Biohazard Candy Kid back at you here. Another great video. So, today's flight, I'm going to be flying from New Mexico to Wyoming. Okay? The airports I'm going to be flying to and from Alexander Mun, okay, which is in New Mexico. And then Afton Mun, which is in Wyoming. So it's E80 to KAFO. Flight time is going to be 3 hours and 15 minutes with the Mooney Bravo. Okay? This is the aircraft I am flying. The Mooney Bravo. And I'm going to choose the local time. And it's going to be cold fronts. That's the type of weather. So let's see how well I do. Alrighty, so let's begin our procedures. Not Navlog. Yeah, it's checklist. Okay. Everything must be up. Okay. Let's see. Mooney Bravo procedures. Alrighty, so first off, I want to find the lights, which are right here, exterior, and then lights. So, avionics, power, alright. Make sure all lights are on. And we are good to go. Still gotta check all this stuff. Fuels. Boost fuel switch on for 40 seconds. Throttle up. All this up. Propeller area is clear. going to see which runway we were taking off at. We want to go north. So we're taking off runway 3. North departure. Because we're going to be departing north.
Echo 80, traffic, Mooney, November 123, Mike Sierra, taking off, runway 3, north, departure.
Alrighty. Let's see, runway 3 is... Aha, found it. What the hell's going on? I was wondering why I was going so slow. Just to make sure that I'm going to the right place. Yep, there's 3. Over to the left. Okay, so I hope you guys are enjoying this flight today. From E80 to KAFO. This should be a good flight. I know my last two were shit, crashed, whatever, restarted, whatever. But it's gonna be a good flight today. I think I'm gonna stick with flying either this plane or the Cessna. Or some other small, lightweight plane for now, before I move on to other things. And this is a flight during the night, so we'll see. Something I want to mention here. So, I told you guys before that I've been flying flight simulators my whole entire life. Okay? I haven't played all of them, but I played enough flight simulators that, I can give some input, some. I played enough of them in my lifetime. The state of flight simulators as of right now, well, how should I put it? I'll say this. If you're going to get another flight simulator to add to your collection, if you're going to get if you're gonna get into flight simulation, flight simulator video games, what I would suggest is you stay within these parameters, this parameter. You get anything, okay, you get X-Plane 12 and anything older than X-Plane 12. What does that mean? Because I know I didn't really explain too much. I didn't go into details, but this is exactly what it. Let me re-say this. If you are someone who's looking to get another flight simulator video game to add to your collection, if you're someone who wants to get into flight simulation video games, you don't have any. You're brand new to this. Doesn't matter what age you are, what generation you are. Get X-Plane 12 and anything older than X-Plane 12, excluding the last Microsoft Flight Simulator. So, in other words, get every other flight simulator out there except for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 and Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. And there's a reason for that. Because Microsoft Flight Simulator is no longer Microsoft Flight Simulator. It's Give Me Money Simulator. It's a flight simulator, it is. You fly planes, yes, now you do missions in the 2024 edition. But the games are buggy. They want your money. They want you to have an Xbox account, a Microsoft account. It costs a ridiculous amount of money. Yes, X-Plane is $61. I mean, $59.99. Yes, it's a $60 game. But for $60, it's not buggy. X-Plane is made by Liminar Research, which is made up of a bunch of a bunch of people who fly aircraft, like they really fly aircraft, and a bunch of engineers. They're aircraft pilots and engineers. Flight aircraft pilots and flight aircraft engineers. That is who makes X-Plane at Liminar Research in San Diego. Microsoft, they're just video game developers, software developers. Sure, there might be one or two flight engineers or pilots within the company, but they don't make, but that doesn't make up the majority of the company. I'm not a pilot, I'm not an engineer. But that doesn't mean I can't talk about this stuff. That doesn't mean I don't know. That doesn't mean anything. Oh, but that doesn't apply to the Microsoft crew. You see, when this game came out, they knew exactly what they were doing. This game is a masterpiece. Microsoft Flight Simulator 10, Microsoft Flight Simulator X is a masterpiece. What did Microsoft do in all that time, from Microsoft Flight Simulator X to basically Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024? What did they do in all that time? And I said 2024 and not 2020 because, well, what did they do? Yes, there was a gap between Microsoft Flight Simulator X and 2020, but the gap is really from Microsoft Flight Simulator X until they come out with another masterpiece. All the Microsoft Flight Simulators that are going to come out now will never be Microsoft. They will never be the true successors to Microsoft Flight Simulator X. They won't. They won't make one where it's just a simple flight simulator like this one. You only pay like $40 for the game. It's not buggy. Yes, this was buggy at start. Yes, this had its issues. But that was also due to the technology back then. This game was way ahead of its time. This game was doing things that most hardware at the time couldn't even deal with. That's exactly what was going on. Okay? This game is a masterpiece. That's why there was a team that decided, hey, let's bring this back, put it on Steam. That's why it was brought back. That's why people worked on it, brought it back to life, put it on Steam. These new flight simulators from Microsoft are shit. You know what they are? They're just a bunch of visuals. They're just a bunch of visuals. It's just a visually stunning game. That's all. They still haven't fixed Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. And the fact that they put it on console even made it worse. Because really, who's your target audience? Flight simulators were never on console. And I say flight simulators, not flight arcade games. Flight simulators. And I'm not talking about the Nintendo Wii and some of the flying games where you use the motion control thing, and you know it's like simulator but for the Wii. I'm not talking about that. I'm strictly talking about X-Plane, Prepared 3D, DCS, Microsoft Flight Simulator, Sierra Pro Pilot, IL2, and even what did I say? X-Plane, and you know, even you know all of those, the ones that are really simulators, even the ones that cost $100,000, you know, well, not 100, but you know, the ones that cost like, they can run off of a PC, but it takes a PC that can run these, you know, not your average home PC. They're like $10,000 PCs that run like a you know, $50,000 program. I'm talking about those flight simulators. They were never meant to be on console. And Microsoft decides, hey, we're going to put these on console. Yes, I get it. X-Plane 11 is on mobile. I understand there's a mobile version of X-Plane 11. That's stupid. It's retarded. But, like, seriously? Flight simulators were always PC. Flying games, yes, they've both been on PC, a personal computer, a TV console, a handheld gaming device, and mobile. Yes, they're everywhere. But the simulation side was always on PC. So seriously. So Microsoft screwed it up. What did they do this whole entire time? Create a flight simulator, so starting in 2006, they worked on the next flight simulator until 2020, and then came out with a buggy mess. The heck is that?
Albuquerque approach, Mooney, November 123, Mike Sierra is type Mooney Bravo, 16 miles.
There's an aircraft over there.
Alpha Echo Golf,
I see it.
Following.
Right
Mooney,
there.
November 123, Mike Sierra, Albuquerque approach, squawk 0544. Squawk 0544, Mooney 3, Mike Sierra. Mooney 3, Mike Sierra, radar contact 17 miles northwest of Gila, Alpha Echo Golf 13,600, altimeter 2952. Copy, Mooney 3, Mike Sierra. 5. 124.325. Mooney 3 Mike Sierra. Southwest 849er. Turn left at heading 025. Descend and maintain flight level 310. Albuquerque Center. Mooney November 123 Mike Sierra with you. Mooney November 123 Mike Sierra. Albuquerque Center. Roger. Altimeter 2952.
So literally, if you're gonna get a flight simulator, whether you're someone new or you're just someone who's already been playing flight simulators, if you're gonna look for something, get X-Plane 12, X-Plane 11, and then, you know, all the old flight simulators. Don't get Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 or 2024. No way. 2020, actually, even though it's from 2020, it still can't manage to run on hardware from 2025, no matter the PC. That's just, this is ridiculous. It's a buggy mess. What happened? Did video game companies forget how to make video games? I mean, what did Microsoft do in all that time? From 2006 to 2020, did they work on a new flight simulator for that long? If you work on something for that long, it should not be a buggy mess. I can understand if you got 1 year to create something. Okay, you have a buggy mess because you're rushing it. You got 1 year, you got 1 second. But from 2006 to 2020, that should be enough time to make the biggest flight simulator ever that is not buggy, that has so much content that it takes up your whole entire drive on your computer. Like, it just, yeah, no. I get that when this came out, this was buggy too. I get it. But see, back then, bugginess wasn't related to the like the people and the company and the, you know, it wasn't related to like laziness. It was just, it was different back then. If a game was buggy, it was more or less the hardware couldn't handle it. And yeah, there was also a software component to it, software side of things, but not like today. Today they're making buggy games intentionally. So you get used to all these updates. So you get used to the update environment. You know, you get used to the world of updates. And they give you half-ass games today. They don't even give you full complete games. Everything else is behind a paywall. Which is fucking ridiculous. It's just behind a paywall. Yes, this had stuff behind a paywall. I get it. But not like today. Today, like, I was looking at Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. It's a horrible mess. You got base package, and then second package and third package. What the heck? Why don't you just give us Microsoft Flight Simulator? Give us this. And then just let us do everything else with mods. Like, why don't you just give us a flight simulator, give us enough aircraft to start off with, and, you know, enough color schemes, paint schemes, and then let us do the rest with mods and fixes and shit like that we do. And don't make it buggy. Make it to where it can run on just any hardware out there. No, you got to make it buggy, and you have to basically put everything behind a paywall because you have to get your money, and you have to make 3 different tiers. Oh, we'll give you the base package. We'll give you what you want. But see all this other stuff? It's paywall. Wait, what? Why didn't you just include that in the base package? Oh, and by the way, the base package is $100. What? What happened in video games, whether inflation or not, being so expensive and having very little content? When did that happen? in the 80s. Because if you watch Killer Television's channel, he has boxes of like the original Microsoft flight simulators. When I say original, I mean like he has boxes of like the ones from the late 80s to the 90s, if I recall. And he basically showcased like there were expansion packs for it. You know, you get like other parts of the world or extra aircraft and stuff like that. So Microsoft has been doing this forever. It's just back then they weren't that greedy. Back then the base package was a full complete game. It was big. They just decided just to put add-ons just for shits and giggles. Most people didn't really need them, but they were there if you wanted this stuff. Now it's like even the base shit requires all the extra stuff, because like now it's like you have to have the extras. Now it's like we're gonna make the base shit the extra stuff. Now the only thing you're gonna pay the $100 for is a menu screen. And you want your first plane? Well, that's $29.99. Oh, and by the way, we only include one state in the United States. So basically, you just be flying around that state. Oh, but there's only 2 airports. So you want everything else? No, well, that's another $100. Oh wait, I forgot to mention. Well, okay, when you bought the airplane, all you bought was one wing for $29.99. Now you can buy the other wing. So each instrument panel is going to be $59.99. So this is $59.99, $59.99. So basically, you're building your aircraft as you spend money. You spend money to build an aircraft. So you build a trike, like you build a little ultralight, like a little tiny one. Oh, that's gonna be cheap because it's a little. But you want to build a freaking Antonov or some Boeing 747 or some Airbus, whatever. Man, that's gonna be billions of dollars. You have billions of dollars? So I don't think so. So get the fuck out of here. It's going to become like Star Citizen, where like you pay for like the menu screen and a little avatar and then a little shitty ship that's like the size of like a peanut, and the rest of the game is going to cost you thousands of dollars. You'll be paying for this sector of space, you know, this type of look, this type of buildings. Yeah, nah. Please.
American 1148, turn left and heading 090, proceed on course. Turn left heading 090, proceed on course. American 1148.
So, you know, it's fucking ridiculous. So if you're really looking for a Microsoft Flight Simulator game, just go get this one. It's on Steam. It's cheap. You can get a bunch of mods for it. I don't know why the flight simulator community doesn't like go back to this one. I'm gonna try to help out and try to get people on this flight simulator. Because seriously, this is where it's at. We need to revitalize the old flight simulators.
Southwest 1514 with you. Southwest 1514, Albuquerque Center, roger. Southwest 849er, contact Albuquerque Center on 132.8. 132.8 for Southwest 849er.
So this one's not a live stream, of course. It's a pre-record, so yeah, I told you I was going to do some pre-records. And they're just going to be like short flights. I tried to do this one. I wanted to do like maybe 2 hours max, but it ended up being a little bit over 3 hours, but that's okay. We'll get there. It'll be fun. And I'm choosing different locations within the United States and around the world. Well, I should say around the world, but in the United States, because I fly a lot in the United States. Just because it's got a bunch of, like...
500, turn right, heading 090.
It's got a bunch of different variations. I mean, it's got flatlands, mountains, ridges, valleys, cliffs.
Descend and maintain flight level
And so,
330. Cactus 500.
you know, I like it. You know, one time I went and I was flying in South Korea, but I was flying in, which was fun, but I was, you know, to say I was flying in Asia, but I also flew in China. Man. Not much. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of airports in China, but I don't know about Chinese, what's it called? I don't know about China and their airplane stuff or civil aviation, or I don't know.
Contact Denver Center on 118.575. 118.575 for Mooney 3 Mike Sierra. Denver Center, Mooney, November 123 Mike Sierra with you. Mooney, November 123 Mike Sierra. Denver Center, Roger. Altimeter 2952.
Jeez, I can't go like in the middle here to this other thing, or else it just goes out of whack. I don't know what's wrong. It's ridiculous. Please like, subscribe, share, hit the thumbs up, hit that bell notification, hit the thumbs down, whatever you choose. It helps the channel a lot. It helps the algorithm see me a lot more. I mean, it makes the algorithm have me pop up more on YouTube. So just, yeah. Just, like I said, like, subscribe, share. Hit that bell notification. Thumbs up, thumbs down. You know. Whatever. Just help out the channel. Let's get it growing. Let's continue to have fun here in flying. So we got 2 hours and 38 minutes left of the flight. So yeah, we'll be there soon enough. You know something, since I'm eating pretzels right now, I don't know how you watch videos that were done in like the 1960s.
1666, turn left heading 210, descend and maintain flight level 320.
They were done like in the 1960s, you know, all the way up until, I would say, the year 2000. And, you know, you see all these videos of, you know, of people flying back then in the 1960s, 70s, 80s, 90s. I'd say into like the year 2000, you know, even in the 50s. And on the flights, they had stewardesses. They had women who were stewardesses. They had some men too, but mostly women. And you watch the videos, and you see these people eating big portions of food, and we're talking cooked food on the airplane. Like, it's not frozen. It's not frozen or packaged. It's cooked. When they give you a snack, oh my gosh, the snack was like, hey, would you like this big bag of peanuts? Would you like this big bag of whatever? They come around with drinks. Real extravagant. Right after 9/11, like, things started to change slowly. I mean, it was already changing in the 90s, but not as bad and not as fast as right after 9/11. They started to give you less food. They started to make you pay for things that you didn't pay for before. They started to have luggage restrictions, what you carry on the plane restrictions. I mean, a lot of stuff. You know, started coming out of the evil building, the bad building, you know, off to the left, right, center, front and back, wherever it is. Because now when you get on a flight that is really short, and we're talking a 5-hour flight, they don't give you any food. All they give you is an option to drink coffee, some type of juice, a soda, water, and then if you want to pay for like a alcoholic drink, they have that. They don't give you anything else. Okay, I'm eating pretzels. Yes, they give you a bag of dinky pretzels, like they, you know, a dinky little bag of pretzels. That's it. You literally have to eat 5 of these bags to make it a full meal. And they're pretzels. Forget that they, you know, all the peanuts and peanut allergy, which is stupid. You know, I'll tell you one of the best airliners that I ever flew on, that I was ever on in my lifetime. I'll tell you the best. In the 90s and early 2000s, even after 9/11, it was still, flying was still good. It wasn't great, but it was good. So, here, let me say this first. Okay, so if you look at videos from the 70s and the 60s and 80s, you literally see the stewardess cutting up meat on the airline and serving it to you on your plate. They had real silverware, real plates, and stuff like that. You know, none of this plastic crap, this throwaway crap. And so, okay, and they did that well into the 90s. Well, even 1 or 2, 3 years after 9/11. Okay. Well, and I got to experience a little bit of that when I was a child, but that was it. Starting in then by the time I, was born, by the time the 90s rolled around, they started to get away from it slowly, where they would just bring like packaged foods. They just microwaved it, or they just keep it hot inside the little trays and then hand it to you. But there was a time when they cooked on the airplane. There was a time when the food was cooked. It wasn't packaged. It wasn't microwavable food. Starting in, and I'm talking about starting from the 50s and beyond. Before that, we had World War I, World War II. Planes were still in their infancy. So let's start from 1950. And so basically, one of the best airlines, which is it's a small one. It's here in the United States. One of the best that's really great is SkyWest, or at least it used to be, from what I remember. Because I remember that you would basically, before you got on the airplane, right at the entrance to get into the airplane, that little tunnel thing, there would be a box. And in that box, they would have brown bags. And those brown bags would have full, complete meals in them. You would get like a a sandwich, a full sandwich, a full thing of soda in a can, okay, a sandwich, and some mayonnaise and mustard with salt and pepper, and so a sandwich, full sandwich, mayonnaise and mustard, salt and pepper, a soda, Oh no, actually you chose, the soda wasn't even in the bag. You actually chose what type of soda you wanted. So the soda was in a separate box, in a separate bin. And then some type of like chips, or chips. And then inside the sandwich was also like carrot sticks. So you got the full package. So, and it was included in your flight. And the flight wasn't an expensive flight. It was a cheap flight. So literally you were getting the food for free. And the sandwiches were like a ham sandwich or a turkey sandwich. I think there were two kinds. I think there was like a turkey or ham with lettuce, and then like with lettuce and cheese, and then there was like a tuna sandwich. I thought that was the coolest experience ever. Like, really? And you could grab as many bags as you wanted. So whenever I would get on there, I'd always tell my parents, hey, grab a bunch of bags, grab a bunch of bags. And they had more product, more food, than there were passengers plus pilots and stewardesses and stuff like that. Even on longer flights today, they don't give you shit. Yeah, I know a lot of you are gonna go look at Emirates, airlines. You're gonna go look at some airline that costs. You're gonna go look at some flights that cost $100,000, $10,000, and say, see, they give you food, it's on a silver platter. But I'm not talking about that. Because who flies that? Does the general public fly that? No, they don't.
United 1165.
Does even a business person fly that? No, they don't. They would even have their own plane with a private pilot, their own private plane, private pilot. Or, yeah, they would just have their own private plane with a private pilot. They don't fly those $50,000 flights. that $50,000 flight was made for those who are YouTube vloggers. They just said, hey, let's give them content. Let's create something that will make content for YouTube. That will, you know, we'll just have it as like a content thing. That's what it's for. The majority, everybody else just flies regular business class, first class, and the economy class, you know. And even on business class and first class,
Delta 2410, turn left heading 095.
they still don't give you
Flight level 290. Turn left heading 095, descend and maintain flight level 290, Delta 2410.
they still don't give you food like they once used to. They give you these little shitty portions. So it's not worth it to fly anymore. If all you're gonna get is a cup of water, you pay all this money, you can't bring whatever you want on an airplane, you can't do what the fuck you want. You know, they give you water, you can't do what the fuck you want, you can't bring whatever you want on the airplane. You basically have to be stuck tight in this little shitty seat.
Delta 2410.
There's no point.
Denver Center on
I'd rather take a train. I know, I can't go to Germany from here in a train. I would rather own my own airplane than fly on some airline that gives me shit. Oh, we have to make money, we're a business.
United 11.
If I own an airline,
turn right heading 245.
trust me, I'd be making business. Because I would do
Right
things
heading 245. Resume on navigation.
that basically
United
favor
1165.
the customer, not favor myself in a suit. No, I'll make money. Because I'll do it with the intention of making money. It's just I'm going to give you a lot of food. And it's not going to be some prepared food. It's going to, like,
United 1165.
we're going to have full-on chefs.
Center on
We're going to, you know,
127.55.
oh, you speak like those guys. Oh, you know, that are way out there.
165.
Whose ideas never really work in reality. Yes, they do. It's just you don't want them to work. Shut the fuck up. Yeah, I know some of you will say, well, if you were flying on one of those 17-hour flights, you get food and are you fucking retarded? Are you tell me, are you retarded? Do you have autism? Are you mongoloid? Do you have cerebral palsy? Seriously, tell me. Because they don't give you shit on those planes. What, they give you a breakfast, lunch, and dinner? That's stupid. It's not. They're basically giving you dollar menu from McDonald's items. If you're gonna give me some breakfast,
Turn left heading 025.
I better get
Flight level 350.
like Denny's.
Turn left heading
If you,
025.
and I'm not, hey,
Flight level 350.
call me a millennial.
Southwest 618.
Say that I'm whining and I'm part of that culture and all that. Go ahead. Be retarded. Speak like a retarded person. Come on, retard. Say it. I thought the pre-K. Seriously. Because they should give you, they have to give you Denny's for breakfast. They have to give you Olive Garden for lunch. Like, you know what I mean? Big portions, not fucking, oh, we're just gonna give you a little dollar burger. And then just a small cup of water. And that's it. That's what you get. For lunch, dinner, breakfast. And also, what they did is, oh, they'll give you food, but now you have to pay for it. It's like, that's another thing. So on some flights, you can get food.
1618, turn right, heading
Okay?
050, resume
Like I keep telling you, I've been telling you so far that they don't give you jack shit on airplanes anymore. Okay? They don't give you big portions of food. They give you little miniature portions. Okay? Some airlines, you have to pay for the food. The food is extra cost. It's not included in the price of the flight, or it's not free. It's not like, oh, we're not going to include it in the price of anything and we're not going to charge you for it. It's going to be free, like SkyWest used to do. What they did was, okay, now the food is a totally separate thing and you must pay for it. A sandwich is going to run you $10. What the fuck? You won't let me bring my Subway sandwich that I bought for $6, $4, foot long. Actually, fuck the airport, because the airport's over expensive. You won't let me bring that on board. You know, the one, you know. So I have to buy your fucking $10 sandwich. That's not even a 6-inch. It's literally a like a half a slice.
Contact Denver Center on 127.55.
Fucking ridiculous.
127.55, United 1666.
There's an aircraft up there. It's gonna tell me pretty soon, I think, if I see it. Right to the Boeing 737-800. It's right to the left of me. So, literally, flying is a piece of shit these days. Look at Virgin Airways. Richard Branson, 1970s. Look at how his airline was a party airline. There was even sex on there, women showing tits and all that. What the fuck happened to this planet? This planet became a piece of shit. Everything became a piece of shit. Like we're going backward instead of going forward. You know, I just read an article. I didn't read the whole thing, but I looked into it. And there's a guy in the 70s who started, you know, getting this idea out there. But transistors. The new thing is I want to say it correctly, memoristors. So there's like transistors and then there's like memoristors. And so like that's going to bring about the singularity. That's what the article said. It's like, oh, this could usher in the singularity quicker than, you know, we might have imagined. And there's many different types of singularities out there. You know, there's different factions making their own singularity, you know. But it just shows, you know, that we're going backwards. like this new memristor, it's basically going to make it to where computers are going to be just like the human brain. They're going to be able to process as fast as the human brain. They're going to be able to do tasks all at once like the human brain. They're going to have the functionality of the human brain. It's fucking ridiculous. I don't want that shit on this planet. So I don't want that. I didn't ask for that. Who asked for memristors? Who asked for transistors? Did anybody ask us? Everything created since the beginning of time was never asked for. From the first human till now, they didn't ask all the other humans, do you want this? Is this something you want? Do you need this? They just go ahead and just put it out there. And then we're like, we didn't ask for this. I didn't ask for a hammer. I did not ask for a hammer. And whoever created the hammer created it. But the other human being was like, I didn't ask for this. And they're like, I don't care if you didn't ask for it or not. I mean, just because you want something doesn't mean the other person wants it. Just because you make something doesn't mean the other person, you know, is going to use it. Make it for yourself. See, okay, I'll give you this example. And I know that you retards are going to basically, you know, say retarded shit. Okay? I already know that's coming. Retarded shit is going to be said. So literally, I'm doing flight simulator videos. Now I'm doing them for myself. Okay? I'm not doing it for any other reason but myself, because I like flight simulators and I want to do videos and I want to post them to YouTube. For myself. That's the main reason. You guys didn't ask me to do this. You guys didn't want this. I'm not putting this out there and, you know, forcing you guys to watch these or anything. I actually ask you. I say, hey, if you like these videos, if you want more, let me know. Let me know if you want more videos. Let me know if you want these videos. Let me know if you like watching these videos, if you want me to do more for you. If not, I don't care. I'm going to continue doing these videos because it's for me. Because I'm not going to do something, I'm not going to invent something, I'm not going to create something and then just put it out there, you know, and have the whole scenario of, we didn't ask for this. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to consult. I'm going to come to you guys and say, do you guys want this? Do you guys like this? Do you guys need this? And if you tell me yes, end of story. If you tell me no, end of story. Oh, but that's not how the world works. I am part of the world, you know that? I live on this planet. You mean that's not how other people operate? Yes, I understand that. There are other... The retards don't operate like that. Okay? Hey, retarded. You don't operate like me. Okay, retarded? Okay, retard? Alright. You got that, retard? Okay. Retard doesn't operate like me. He can choose to operate like me, but he chooses not to. There's no force that's making him choose not to. It's him, himself. Freedom of choice. It's his own choice. Me, I choose to, because that's the right thing to do. It's not evil. It's not a sin. It's not bad. It's a good thing. So I literally choose to ask you guys. I don't just make a hammer without asking you.
American 119. Contact Denver Center on 127.55.
I don't just make a hammer and then you guys go, we didn't ask for this.
Right, heading 08.
I didn't ask for the hammer. So the same thing. I didn't ask for these memoristors. Memoristors, whatever you want to call them. Or however you say it. I didn't ask for transistors. I wasn't alive when the transistor was invented, but you get the point. I didn't ask for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. And when I say I mean like there's a bunch of people, you know, of course but me, myself, and but I is also the rest of you. Like, you guys didn't ask for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. Like, and wait. They released it last November, right? Like, what happened to Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020? Now they're going to start releasing a new flight simulator every 5 years? Every 4 years? What the hell? So you go absent from 2006, 2005, let's say. From 2005 to 2020, you go absent. You give us FSX, and then that's it. And then now, every 4 years, you're going to give us a flight simulator? What the hell? We asked for a flight simulator in 2012. 6 years later, we didn't get one. Microsoft wasn't doing shit. It's just like Age of Empires. We didn't get shit after number 3. All we got were remakes, reboots, remasters, upscalers. We got all that shit, but we didn't get Age of Empires 4, which would be after the 1800s. It would be World War I. Maybe starting in 1890s, leading up to, and then going into like 1920. So it'd be World War I. And then the next one would be World War II. No, they didn't give us that. What did they give us? Shit. Just the same old shit. I mean, it's not... Age of Empires 1 and 2 and 3 are not shit, but they gave us those as remasters, reboots, reworked. Mobile games or whatever. Like PC games, console. It's ridiculous. Say what you want. Hey, retard, you got something to say? You got something to say, retard? Retard. Calling all retards. Seriously. So like, let's bring back gaming to a state where every 6 years they give us a new game. They let this one mature, say they give us Flight Simulator X. That's 10. Oh, now we're going to create 11, but after 6 years.
American 1775.
We're gonna let 10 have its player base, have its, this and that. Or what you do is you just create one flight simulator, and then you just don't create another one ever again, and you just keep updating the one that you've created. Just keep going. Support that one. Make it run on new hardware as time goes on. Don't create a new one.
Running 3 Mike Sierra. Contact Denver Center on 125.35. 125.35. Mooney 3 Mike Sierra. Denver Center, Mooney, November 123 Mike Sierra with you. Mooney, November 123 Mike Sierra.
So I'm dead serious. Like, you guys, like, you need to. Hey, okay. Hey, retards. What you need to do, retards, is you need to basically get it together, stop being retarded, and you need to literally, like, fix the gaming industry. It's a mess. It's a piece of shit. Don't buy Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 or 2024. Just don't. Nobody should. It's a mess. It's a piece of shit. You want to buy a flight simulator? X-Plane 12. That's a really good one. It's brand new. I know when it came out, but still, it's brand new. Now's the time to get it because it's had time to mature. Because I'm sure they gave it a bunch of updates since 2022. And you know, Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 came out first. X-Plane 11 was still the only one available from Liminar Research. Right after Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 came out, and when I mean right after, like 2 years right after, out comes X-Plane 12, bam, shoots Microsoft Flight Simulator down easily. I love Liminar Research. Here's our GoPro view, just for those of you who are wondering. So, I love this plane. This plane is awesome. The Mooney Bravo. Oops, I meant to go to this view. I'm just going to show you where we are on the map. So, in case you guys are wondering, we are almost to the halfway point. Not quite. The halfway point is somewhere right there. Like somewhere right by these, you know, right here, like this little mountain patch. Right up, you know, right up here is halfway point. Yeah, more or less. Right around in there. So, I gotta stay on course here. So, that's just, and that's not just me. It's not just my input, my take. There's a lot of people out there who are flight simmers and they feel the same way. They're just like, how in the fuck can Microsoft screw up their own game? I can understand if another company takes over Microsoft Flight Simulator, like Microsoft sells the whole thing, and and the other company doesn't know anything about flight simulators, and then they botch the whole thing on their first try. I can understand that. But fucking Microsoft has been creating flight simulators since they bought Sublogic in the 80s. They should know how to create a flight simulator that's not buggy and that does not have payware and require a stupid account. Liminar Research, who started off in 1994, to be exact, in 1995, but 1994, like literally one guy created a flight simulator. Didn't even know where to start. Didn't have any skills. Not as old as Microsoft. Fucking today, still creating masterpieces. Oh, that's right, because he has real aircraft engineers and real pilots working for Liminar Research, doing all of the coding and editing and you know, artwork and all that shit, visuals. So, like, literally, like, Microsoft is older than them. They have more experience. They got everyone from SubLogic. Like, they should be the creme de la crop, but it's actually Liminar Research. And even the people behind DCS. Fucking, even YS Flight is much better than Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. YS Flight. Even Flight Gear is better than that, and Flight Gear is a buggy mess. But do you know why Flight Gear is better? Because it doesn't require an account, and it's 100% free. Yes, I know on Amazon there's a 10 disc CD, but that's someone who took Flight Gear and they put it on a CD and they sold it. And you can do that. You're allowed to sell Flight Gear. Well, Flight Gear is free. It's a buggy mess. It has its issues, but it's free. It doesn't require an account. It's not trying to get you for every penny in your pocket, every dollar, every $100. It's, you know, it just, you install it, you know, you download it, install it, and it works with its bugs. It still works. YS Flight is another game that's old, from 2000. Way better. It's free. It's not trying to get you for your money. It doesn't want your money. It's not being worked on anymore, but still, I don't give a shit. YS Flight is great. If somebody wants to pick up YS Flight, it's free, open source. Pick it up. Start working on it. Don't fucking, like, you know, just go to Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 or 2024 because, oh, Microsoft, oh, look at the visuals, look at the visuals, the visuals, the visuals. Because they get you on the visuals. It's just like Microsoft in their Xbox department creating the Forza Motorsport 7. You know, the new Forza Motorsports. It's a buggy mess. It's a piece of shit.
Turn left and heading 220, descend and maintain flight level 300. Turn left heading 220, descend and maintain flight level 300, southwest 424.
All these big studios now, they're just, it's like the banks, too big to fail, and they're just, you know, but they're just creating shit. Like, they're just so big. They got so blown up, they're creating shit. It's like GTA. Look at Grand Theft Auto 6. It's a fucked up mess. It's the worst Grand Theft Auto ever. And 5 was bad. I have 5 because it was on PlayStation 3, it was on PC, of course it was on Xbox 360. And when I say it's bad, it's not as good as San Andreas in terms of storyline and, you know, just when San Andreas was made, it was a totally different Rockstar. The Rockstar was a totally different company. When number 5 was made, sure, it was still Rockstar. Sure, there was still a lot of people, like a lot of old school people, you know, that have been there ever since the beginning, working there. But, like, literally, look what they did to 5. They deleted a whole bunch of stuff from 5. I heard from a bunch of new updates.
Southwest 424.
So, like, if you want the original Grand Theft Auto 5, you basically just have to get the original PC port or the original PlayStation 3 or Xbox 360 port and not update it. Of course, I don't think the 360 one is, and the PlayStation 3 are supported anymore. I think the only one that's supported now is the PlayStation 5, Xbox One X, and stuff. I think those ones are supported. I don't think even the PS4 version is supported. But it's fucking ridiculous. Number 6 is bad. A woman as a main character? Are you that fucking nuts? Yeah, Rockstar went woke. Okay. Rockstar, basically, they destroyed themselves. They hired a bunch of shitty people who just ruined the company. With all their LGBTQ or, I don't know, with all their, singularity shit, whatever. All the evil shit. Whereas Rockstar was all about giving the middle finger to everyone. Everybody. Their games were about destroying, like, certain aspects of life. Like, you know what San Andreas was about? And why they had all that music in there? And I'm talking about the original San Andreas, the very first 100 copies that went out to the world. Where then they got sued because of copyright music and all this shit. So then they toned it down. And then they created Greatest Hits version, which I didn't know at the time, but it's a chopped up version. There's a lot of stuff missing. It's a shorter game, meaning the storyline. But the very first one, man, it had so much blood, violence, cussing, all this shit. And I don't call it cussing. But they had all these good words in there. They had all this, good stuff in there. That was Rockstar. It was supposed to be about the 1990s and East Coast versus West Coast shit. Having the cities named, putting names on the cities that resemble New York, San Francisco, LA, Las Vegas, San Diego, Chicago, you get my point? Turf wars with gangs. And they're fucking over here like now doing this shit of, oh, let's not make fun of anyone in our games today. Well, yeah, I get that Grand Theft Auto 6 literally is making a mockery of the culture today, because you have booty twerkers on top of cars. You have people, with their cell phones doing selfies all the time. You have all these vloggers everywhere. Society is shit today. Street takeovers, all the shit. I get that. But I saw the, what's it called? I saw Grand Theft Auto start going downhill when they created the gay ballad of the Ballad of Gay Tony. Like, literally, now you literally create a separate game about a gay man. You must be fucking, ridiculous. If it was Rockstar in 1999, that shit wouldn't fly. It'd be mafia bosses shooting each other in a place called Los Santos, or in a place called, I don't know, Vinnywood, or some other place that resembles. I mean, even the I didn't play it, but I saw videos of it. Grand Theft Auto's Chinatown. Even that's better than number 6, and it was on the DS, or the DSi, or DS Lite, whichever one. Fucking ridiculous. And there are good video games out there, there are ones being created now that are great. But it's just, It's just that that's far and few. Now most of the video games are shit, whether they're mainstream AAA, whether they're mainstream or underground. There's just a lot of shit out there. AAA, AA, quadruple, whatever. It doesn't matter. Mainstream or underground. Doesn't matter if they're AAA or not. Doesn't matter if they're indie or not. There's just a lot of shit out there. And you know why there's a lot of shit? Because it's easy to create a video game today, because a 5-year-old can just download a free program that gets you a video game in 2 seconds. You don't have to learn much. Yeah, sure, you have to learn a lot of code and all, but like literally today it's easy. There's even programs out there that just make a video game for you by you just tapping one letter. I mean, I want to know what happened to the days of people actually going to school for this shit. And not literally like school, like, you know, yes, literally, but not. Like, what happened to the people of yesterday where you were a real coder? You didn't, I mean, you literally, like, actually made a great video game, but it took you 6 years. Or, no, it took you 3 years of developing a game, because you actually did a really good job those 3 years. You weren't just going to do 1 year, release it, and it becomes a buggy mess, or it's a piece of shit, or whatever. And AI is going to make gaming a lot worse. All these companies who get caught with all this AI shit, that's just, forget that shit. That's mainstream shit. All of, hey, retarded, hey, you retards over there. You're covering all this AI shit in video games. You have no idea. Stop. Just stop. That is for you guys. See, there are already video games that are made completely in AI. Completely using AI, and you don't even know it. You don't even know it. I don't even know it. But they already exist. And you will never be able to tell. Nobody will, except for the people who made the video game.
Contact network center on 134.5. Going to 134.5. Mooney 3 Mike Sierra. Network center, Mooney, November 123 Mike Sierra. With you at 14000. Mooney, November 123 Mike Sierra, Network Center, Roger, altimeter 2952.
So literally, when you say, oh, Activision got caught for AI, this and that shit, oh, this company, didn't disclose. There's video games that are fully made in AI programs, made by AI. Look at did you guys see the Doom that was the original Doom that was recreated using AI? That already tells you that there's video games that have been created solely using AI. No human was involved. It's just the newspaper is basically, or the news, they're just putting it out like it's happening now, but it's been happening since, God, 2019 or some shit. Like for a long time. See, what happens is it gets told to the public like years after it's been happening. They're not going to tell you right then and there. It's not going to come out right then and there, when the first shit happens. It's like for instance, okay, this topic. Yeah, the AI topic. AI made video games have been out for a long time.
Southwest 436, contact network center on 125.35.
Certain individuals are just not going to tell you
125.35
that this is going, you're not going to get told that AI video games are a thing now right when they come out. You're going to get told 10 years down the road, 5 years down the road. So you are always behind. So you're already in the shit. Because it's like this. If I'm already making coffees, you know, if I make my first coffee and I don't tell you about it, you know, and then I continue to make other cups, and then I tell you once once it's been like 3 years, you can't come after me. You'll be like, well, there's nothing you can do. But if I tell you right then and there, I'm going to make coffee, you have the power to stop me all you want. You'd be like, no, you're not. Nope. You have the power to do something. But if I don't tell you from the very beginning, and I tell you 3 years after, there's nothing you can do about it. And that's exactly what's going on in the video game industry. There are video games that have been created using AI 100%. We've been doing this for many years now. And sure, we can still do something about it. I mean, I just gave the coffee analogy and said there's nothing you can do about it. Yes, you can. You can just really start investigating, really get into it. You know, you can really start to get into it, really start to investigate. But the thing is that, like, literally, it's been going on for a long time. And Doom is just proof. Because if AI just created a full Doom video game, the full thing, that's just proof, hey, you've been doing this a lot longer than what you're showing us here. Oh, now you're starting to show us. Oh, but you won't show us the first thing because you know we will reject it. It's like cell phones. They had cell phones for a long time before they brought them out to the public. They were already being used by governments and major corporations long before the public ever got their hands on a cell phone. They just weren't going to tell you right off the bat. Hey, look, here's a device called a cell phone. Alrighty, so this flight's doing pretty well. I like it. Nothing to see much in the night sky or in the darkness. I mean, not much to see when it's nighttime. So, but yeah, we're moving along. We essentially got an hour and 36 minutes to go.
5, turn left and heading 045, descend and maintain flight level 330.
Turn left heading 045, descend and maintain flight level 330, Southwest 3335.
Southwest 3335, turn right heading 075, resume on navigation.
Turn right heading 075, proceed on course, Southwest 3335. 340.
Cactus 379er, Denmark Center, roger.
So we're 1 hour and 28 minutes out. We're looking for KAFO, or I think KAF0 if I recall. That's not. No, okay. Right here. Yeah, KAFO, not 0. Because up here it looks like a 0, because this thing is kind of fucked up for some reason. I don't know why. Already ready? I hope you guys enjoyed this flight today. We do have, of course, like always, food, drinks, and we have lots of food. Big portions. Fun and entertainment. We got it all. Whatever you want.
Cactus 379er, turn left heading 260, proceed on course.
Turn left heading 260, proceed on course. Cactus 379er.
I was just remembering one of the things I heard a long time ago. I mean, a few years ago about Microsoft Flight Simulator X was that some of the aircraft had gauge cluster issues when this game was first released in 2006. It was a buggy mess with some of the gauge clusters for some of the aircraft. From what I heard, from what I read on forums, and what I was told by watching some videos, but I don't know. I don't have the original, so I don't know. I could sure go look it up, you know. What I mean is, like, find pictures of the original, you know, back in its day. But yeah, it's yeah. So. Right on course. Oh, actually, let me see if we're right on. Okay. Right on course.
Cactus 379er. Contact Salt Lake Center on 125.575.
Point 125.575. Cactus 379er.
almost at the 1 hour mark, and then we can start descending slowly once we get to closer to like 49 minutes. So let's keep an eye out for that.
Mooney 3 Mike Sierra. Contact Salt Lake Center on 125.575. Mooney 3 Mike Sierra, did you copy? Mooney 3 Mike Sierra, please acknowledge. Mooney 3 Mike Sierra, acknowledge last transmission. Mooney 3 Mike Sierra, ATC service is terminated. Salt Lake Center, Mooney, November 123
Damn it.
Mike Sierra is type Mooney Bravo 19er miles southeast of Uniform Tango 69er, request flight following.
Mooney, November 123 Mike Sierra, Salt Lake Center, squawk 7147.
Squawk 7147, Mooney 3 Mike Sierra.
Mooney 3 Mike Sierra, radar contact 18 miles southeast of Uniform Tango 69er 14,000, altimeter 2952.
Copy, Mooney 3 Mike Sierra.
power out. Let's see. Alrighty. Let me see. I am 58 minutes out. I'm going to start descending when I'm closer to 49 minutes out. So just bear with me here. Yeah, we're almost there. Already. We're doing A-okay. in this map, a little larger. Oh, you know what? Let me look. Checklist. For not climbing. Fuel tank selection. Okay, on descent. Flaps up. Okay. 2400 RPMs for the propeller. Mix. Peak. TAT. T-power flaps are closed. They are closed. Well, okay, so this is verify off. Hold on. Okay, parking brake verify off. Yeah, we do not want parking brake on while we're approach for landing. So when we're in approach for landing mode, we want to make sure that the parking brake is off. We want to verify that it's off. So yes, sir. Oh, okay. I can start descending now to about 10,000 feet.
Contact Salt Lake Center on 124.35.
Going to 124.35, Mooney 3 Mike Sierra. Salt Lake Center, Mooney, November 123 Mike Sierra, with you 14,000. Mooney, November 123 Mike Sierra, Salt Lake Center, Roger, altimeter 2952.
I meant to start descending earlier, but no, it is that one. Alrighty guys, so we are on a descent. I want to get to 10,000 feet for right now. And then when we get closer to like 29 minutes out, we'll start descending the rest of the way slowly. So I'm gonna start throttling up a bit. on the next flight that I do, I'm gonna try to make it possibly an hour and 30 minutes. So we'll do like small municipal airports within one state. That might take like an hour and 30 minutes or something. Or maybe 2 states next to each other, or somewhere around the planet where it's just a very short flight. We'll see. Look at that. Me. guys hear any banging, that's because I'm eating some soup I made yesterday. It's carrot soup. Or my take on carrot soup. I'll be back in just a few. Actually, let me, 'cause I gotta go wash this bowl here. Let me start descending. We're going to descend to about 6,000 feet or something. Man, it's really dark out here. I think I'm gonna climb to 8,000. And that's it. So I think I'm approaching some mountain range or something. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, I think this is a safe bet. Although those peaks could be higher. I don't know. I just dropped for nothing. I thought it was flat. I mean, I knew I was getting into a flight where it's rocky, but geez. For some reason I calculated wrong on some things.
Salt Lake Center, Delta 2371 with you, flight level 320.
Delta 2371, Salt Lake Center, roger.
I should have stayed at 10,000 feet, but I... I mean, I should have just stayed at 10,000 feet until I get a lot closer. Oh, jeez. Now, these are real mountaintops. Okay. I'm gonna have to start climbing some more. I was going... Oh, God. Jeez, what a flight. I'm like seconds out though. I don't want to climb too high and then have to fucking... What? Oh, God. Hopefully I land at 34. Yeah, I think I'm going to select that. I don't think there's an ATC there. But I still have to let ATC know. Jeez, it doesn't look like enough. God damn it. When I'm like 9 minutes out, I'm gonna look for it. So...
Altitude 371, contact Salt Lake Center on 127.7.
Point 127.7, Delta 2371.
Yeah, there's a tree line up here. It's bullshit.
Contact Salt Lake Center on 128.35. 128.35. Mooney 3 Mike Sierra. Salt Lake Center, Mooney, November 123 Mike Sierra with you. Mooney, November 123 Mike Sierra. Salt Lake Center, Roger. Altimeter 2952.
I'm just trying to be high enough so I don't crash into anything. Because it is late at night. It's not late at night, but it's at nighttime. I think it was runway 34. Is that where we're landing? Yes.
Foxtrot Oscar, traffic, Mooney, November 123, Mike Sierra is 26 miles southeast, 12,000, inbound to land, runway 34.
See something. No, I thought I saw a place where I could do an emergency landing. Oh, looks like a valley's coming up. So we'll see. It's over there, so I know I'm still too high, so I'm not going to try to make a landing just yet. There it is. I'm going to fly parallel of it. See it? I might do like a fly around somewhere here if I'm real careful about it. Just gonna turn off autopilot. was a bounce. It was a bounce. I guess it must be snowy here or something.
Kilo Alpha Foxtrot Oscar traffic. Mooney, November 123 Mike Sierra is clear of the runway.
Huh. So I guess I have to circle back around. That's why I was looking to make sure there were no aircraft. It's a airport. It's not something, you know, small, which is nice. I don't think this is parking. Well, we'll just park it here. Alrighty, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this flight. And hope to see you guys in the next one. Like, subscribe, share, hit that thumbs up, thumbs down, bell notification. Let the algorithm put me on top. And yeah. So alrighty. Guys, take care. All right. Make the world a better place. Do something positive in your community. Thank you. And I'll see you all in the next one. All right. Peace out.